Okay, Saxon 4 math students, we're ready for lesson 71 today. We're going to be doing some division answers that end with 0, which can be tricky. So let's start off with some examples. Divide 121 by 3. Okay. We know that we go a step at a time. Look at one digit at a time. How many groups of 3 can I get out of 1? I can't. Now, here's what I want you to start doing because some of us are having difficulty. If you say, I can't make a group of that, I want you to put a 0 at the top as a placeholder. Okay? Now we're going to go over to the next digit. Now, since we said, oh, I can't make a group of 3 out of 1, now we're looking at the 12, okay, together. How many groups of 3 can I make out of 12? 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract. 12 minus 12 is 0. The next step is to bring down. How many groups of 3 can I make out of 1? I can't, because 0 times 3 is 0. Subtract, and this is your remainder. This remainder has to be less than your divisor, okay? If it's not, you did something wrong and you need to start over. So here the final answer is really 40 with a remainder of 1. If you want to, when you're finished, you can erase that front 0, but it has a purpose, and it's to hold that place. And some of you have not been doing that correctly. And then if you scoot things over, then you go longer. The problem goes longer than what you're supposed to. So you see right here, 40 remainder of 1. Example 2, Mr. Griffith drove 254 miles in 5 hours. About how many miles did he drive each hour? So we want to take that total, and again we're going to, it said about, so we have permission to round off, and I would round this off to 250. Divide that into equal groups of 5 to see how far he went each hour. So 250 divided by 5. Step at a time. How many groups of 5 could I get out of 2? I can't get any groups of 5. 0 times 5 is 5. I'm sorry. 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract. Bring down. And you only bring down one number at a time. Okay, so now we're looking at 25. How many groups of 5 can I get out of 25? 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. Subtract. Bring down. And we have to do this. We have to say how many groups of 5 can I get out of 0? 0 groups, because 0 times 5 is 0. You know you're finished when there's nothing left to bring down. Okay? Not when, oh, 5 can't go into 0, I'm done. I don't have to write this last 0. No. You keep going, okay, until there's nothing left to bring down. So this final answer is actually 50. Okay? And we would say about 50 miles each hour. Okay, let's do some more practice. 120 divided by 3. Okay, how many groups of 3 could I get out of 1? I can't. If you need, and a lot of us need to put that here. If you've been goofing up, put your 0 here. How many groups of 3 can I get out of 12? 4, because 4 times 3 is 12. Notice how nicely I'm keeping these lined up. Subtract, bring down. How many groups of 3 can I get out of 0? 0, because 0 times 3 is 0. There's nothing left to bring down, therefore I'm finished. Okay, and the final answer is 40. Okay, 240 divided by 4. How many groups of 4 can I get out of 2? I can't. 0 times 4 is 0. Subtract, bring down. How many groups of 4 can I get out of 24? 6 groups, because 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract, bring down. Okay, look here, I'm not finished. I have to have my answer above every digit to the very end. And right now, do you see how the 0 has nothing above it? That means we're not finished. How many groups of 4 can I get out of 0? 0. 0 times 4 is 0. Subtract. There's nothing left to bring down. Final answer here, 60. How many groups of 5? Okay, 152 divided by 5. How many groups of 5 can I get out of 1? I can't, because 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract 1 minus 0, 0. Bring down. How many groups of 5 can I get out of 15? 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, bring down. How many groups of 5 can I get out of 2? 0. 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract. There's nothing left to bring down, but look, I have a remainder left over this time. The final answer is 30 with the remainder of 2. Okay? 121 divided by 4. And when you get really good at this, you can look and say, I know I can't get a group of 4 out of 1. I'm going to go ahead and look at the 12. How many groups of 4 can I get out of 12? 3. Look where I wrote it. Since I was looking at 12, it had to go above that second digit, not above the first. Okay? 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract 12 minus 12, 0. Bring down. How many groups of 4 can I get out of 1? I can't. I can get 0 groups. 0 times 4 is 0. Subtract. There's nothing left to bring down, but I have a remainder. 30 with a remainder of 1. 91 divided by 3. Do that right in the middle. How many groups of 3 can I get out of 9? 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract. Bring down that 1. How many groups of 3 can I get out of 1? 0 groups. 0 times 3 is 0. And I have a remainder left over. 30, remainder of 1 again for the answer. 41 divided by 2. That's like saying 41 divided in half, isn't it? How many groups of 2 can I get out of 4? 2 groups. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract. Bring down. How many groups of 2 can I get out of 1? 0 groups. 0 times 2 is 0. Subtract. Nothing left to bring down. Final answer, 20 with a remainder of 1. Okay, we get to estimate here. The employees in the shipping department of a company loaded 538 boxes into a total of 6 rail cars. They put about the same number of boxes into each rail car. About how many boxes are in each rail car? Explain how you found your answer. Okay, let's look. First of all, I'm going to be looking at 6 and something that's going to be compatible to round this off to. And I know 6 times 9 is 54. So if I round this off to 540, and that would be to the nearest 10, then it's going to be a really easy problem to work. So I'm going to round this off to 540 divided by 6. How many groups of 6 could I get out of 5? 0. How many groups of 6 could I get out of 54 though? 9. Look where I wrote it. Above the second digit there. 9 times 6 is 54. Subtract. Bring down the 0. How many groups of 6 can I get out of 0? 0 groups. 0 times 6 is 0. subtract. There's nothing left to bring down. My final answer that's rounded off is, how many boxes are in each rail car? About 90 boxes. And look, I rounded 538 to the nearest 10 and then divided. And that's exactly what we did also. Okay, we're going to go back and do some power up, some mental math. Let's see if you can think of the answers as quickly as I can write them. 8 times 8. Okay, hopefully you thought of those faster than what I could write them. And let's look at some mental math. Here we go. Let's look at the digits that aren't 0. 3 times 3 is 9. How many zeros do I tack on to the end? 3, 9,000. I can look at 24 times 1, that's 24, but how many zeros do I tack on? 2 at the end, 2,400 or 2,400. Counting by fives from 5, every number Kaylee says ends in 0 or 5. Okay, but if she counts by fives and she starts from 6, then every number she says ends in what digits? Let's try it out. Let's start with 6 and add 5, and you get what? 11. So that ends with a 1. Now let's think 11 plus 5. That's 16. Okay, 16 plus 5, 21. 21 plus 5, 26. So we've gone far enough in the pattern to know that if she counts by fives from 6, every number she says ends in digits 1 or 6. 50% of 120. That's like saying half of 120, 60. The square root of 64 is 8. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. Ken Treese bought peanuts for $3.75 and a drink for $2.95. What was the total cost? Let's mentally pretend that this is $3. We'll take away a nickel when we're done, okay? $3 onto this would be $6.75. Take away a nickel and you've got $6.70. Estimate the cost of 8 action figures that are each priced at $4.95. I would round that off to $5 and say $5 times 8 figures, $40. Okay, now right here, a few of you still do not understand this. We had it on Form A test, we had it on Form B, and the same folks missed it 2 times. Okay, this means write the 9 down 2 times and multiply it. Okay, so it really means 9 times 9, and that's 81. Now 81 minus 60, if I did just 80 minus 60 would be 20, right? But it's actually 81 minus 60, so it's 1 more than that. So at this point we're at 21 divided by 7, that'd be 3, times 20 is 60. Problem solving. Quentin finished his 150-page book on Friday, the day before he had put the book down after reading page 120. If Quentin read the same number of pages each day, on what day did Quentin begin reading his book? Explain how you found your answer. So we're going to go backwards, and we know he finished on Friday, and the day before he was at 120. So we can make a table. Our days are going to go backwards. Friday, he was at 150, and that was finished. Thursday, he was at 120. Then we've got Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. We may have to go back more. Let's see. We are decreasing by what? 30. So 120 minus 30, 90. 90 minus 30, 60. 60 minus 30. So I need to go back one more day. 30 minus 30 is 0. So he began reading, what do you think, on Sunday? Oh, I'm sorry, Monday. That's right. He started on Monday. At the end of Monday, he had read 30 pages. Okay, and we are finished. And this was one of those silly mistakes I told you we've been talking about in health. If you don't get enough sleep, you make silly mistakes.